Hi, this is Roy Worley. Welcome to the interview show that brings on guests from all walks of life. Yeah, it's here that they tell their stories and delve a little deeper into their lives to see what got them where they are. So grab a drink, have a seat, and relax, because this is the Leo Effect.
When was the last time a short movie shook your emotions to the core? When was the last time a short movie caused you to rethink everything you stood for? When was the last time a short movie made you proud to be an American? When was the last time you felt the emotion to stand up and cheer after a short movie? The new short movie, I've Got Your Six, written and directed by Bill Foster, one of the industry's newest and fastest climbing directors, will answer all of those questions. Rarely has there been so much packed into a short movie that when you leave, you'll feel more proud of our American military veterans. A movie that was cast only with American military veterans will have you on the edge of your seat, cheering for our veterans and what makes America great. I've Got Your Six will be hitting the film festival scene soon. Be prepared to drop what you're doing and go see this powerful movie when it comes to your area. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Leo Effects. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. I've been waiting for a while to talk to her, and now she's here. It's going to be awesome. I got some really good questions going here, but please allow me to introduce DJ Twisted E. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on the show and donating a little bit of your time. I think the
Absolutely.
listeners are going to be pleasantly surprised with this interview. So
Well, I hope so.
DJ Twisted E, what's that all
Mhm.
about? Like what does that even mean?
It's it is pretty much summarizes me in a name. So it's I'm a music producer, also DJ, and the way that I present things is a little twisted. You know, it's not your ordinary. So that's where the twisted come from. And the E is just my government, the first initial of my government name.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotcha. That's cool though. And I honestly, to be 100% truthful, when your name came across my emails, I was surprised that DJ was even a term that's still used.
Oh yeah.
Like,
It's
do you still use discs? I mean,
no, we don't use disc anymore. It's pretty much everything is online. You got MP3s, you stream music. So I
right.
mean, yeah, they did away with it probably like 10 years ago, maybe
Yeah.
CDs and stuff. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, you still use mixing boards and
Oh yeah,
programs and things like that.
absolutely. Yeah, for
Cool.
sure.
That's awesome. What made you decide to pursue this musical career?
Well, I've always been involved in music some type of way. You know, growing up, it was just I had a Walkman, so I would play music, and then I was in the school band as a kid through high school, and started producing right after high school. DJ kind of came about. I was helping a lot of indie artists make show mixes for their shows and stuff. And a friend of mine introduced me to a free DJ software program. I played around with it, and I loved it ever since.
That's awesome. And what did you play when you were in band in school?
Saxophone and
Nice.
drums. Yeah, the snare drum.
Nice. And why
hmm
didn't you pursue that? What made you decide to go quote unquote electronic with it?
Man, it's the passion is still there for that as well, but it's like DJ kind of took over everything. I'm actually I picked up a new hobby, and that's teaching myself to play the guitar. So playing instruments is going to be something that I do. So like the turntable to me, like the controller is an instrument to me. You know,
Right, right, right.
yeah. So
That's awesome. Do you have like a particular inspiration, like an artist that you really look up to that inspired you to just your style?
oh yeah, my inspiration, like my first inspiration is Prince. Um, so that really inspired me to get into playing instruments. In the DJ world, I would say DJ Spinderella. You know, being that she's a
Mhm.
female
Mhm.
DJ, so that inspired me. So.
Nice. And
Mhm.
how long did it take you to learn all this, or did you just kind of, hey, I know what I'm doing. I did this naturally.
No, it took probably like 2 years before I did my first gig outside the house. So about 2 years of studying and learning, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What was your first gig?
My first gig was at a restaurant in Dallas. So I don't. Are you in Dallas or what location are you at?
No, I'm in New York.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys have this, but a lot of our restaurants and stuff they open them up to be like clubs, you know, after hours and stuff like that.
Oh,
But it
okay.
was one of those things. It was like it was a restaurant, but after a certain time, it turned into like you know a little club. But it was a pretty slow function, so no one was really there. But I was still nervous because it's
Oh
my
yeah.
first time. Yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, at least you got to spread your wings and try it out, you know?
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
was it one of those deals where they say, "Oh, you need to fill so many seats," or did they just say, "Well, all right, here you go, have at
No,
it"?
they did not care. It was, they just needed music, I guess, but it wasn't one of those things like they're pressing me to bring so many people. But it was just, yeah, we just want the music play. It was like, all right, cool.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. And how would you describe your particular genre of music?
So I prefer like if I had to go from I would do probably like R&B, throwback 90s, early 2000 music, rap, R&B, stuff like that, and also funk and blues.
Well, that's quite a collection.
Yeah.
Where can people go to listen to your music? Do you have it like on Spotify or like Pandora or something?
Yeah, I have some mixes on SoundCloud at DJ Twisted E, and I also have Mixcloud as well and Audio Mac, and everything is under DJ Twisted E.
Oh, well, that makes it easy to find, huh?
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
And do you have anything on YouTube? Is that a place that people could go or not really?
I have some old material I haven't really updated. It's nothing new on there. It's a lot of old stuff, but
Oh,
yeah, you
okay.
can find DJ Twisted E on YouTube as well. But I plan on revising some things on there. So
Nice. What
yeah.
what's your creative process for creating a song?
Man, it's just sometimes it just you get inspired by things around you when you might hear a beat in your head or something like that. So it's just sometimes I just feel the inspiration and I get to it and I put my headphones on and I you know start playing with different sounds and stuff until I figure out my groove.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah, yeah. I allow it to just come to me. I don't like to force that because then I get producer's block and I can't think further into the
Right.
beat. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
And you kind of mentioned your inspirations earlier. Is there, besides them, is there anybody that you'd really like to team up and do a collaboration with?
Oh man. Probably like a Bruno Mars, Alicia Keys, someone like that for sure.
Oh man, that'd be a cool song, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm shooting for that. So I'm gonna put it in the universe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you think is one message that you'd like to that you would tell your fans if they came up to you?
A message. I'll just say, man, you know, just we can do anything in this world we want to do. You know, it just takes a lot of dedication. You have to really push yourself to do it, and you can't wait for anyone to do that for you. You know, but we can definitely achieve anything in the world that we want.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's a beautiful message. That's cool. Well, I kind of got some slightly more personal questions that we're leading into. Nothing like digging into, your super personal life or anything, but just to let the
Mhm.
fans and the listeners get to know a little bit more about the person behind the name, if that's all right
Okay,
with you.
that's cool.
So,
That's
like,
cool.
do you have a particular talent that you might consider useless?
No,
No.
nah,
All right.
nah.
Do you have any other talents besides your musical inclination? Or even
Oh yeah.
involving like are you a good whistler? Can you snap really fast? Like
I can snap. I can whistle. Yeah. I cut hair. I know how to cut hair.
oh snap.
I'm a like a handy person, you know. So I've always liked doing things with my hands. So like, yeah.
That's cool. And
Yeah.
this day and age, everybody's going to be needing a haircut soon.
Oh yeah, they would have to go to the professionals though. With this corona, man, I'm nervous about a lot of things.
Yeah, right. For real. For real.
But
Uh,
no, cutting hair, absolutely.
cool.
Mhm.
And what do you think you would be doing? Like, what would you be doing if being a DJ or a music producer hadn't have worked out?
Probably a music engineer. You know, it would have to do something with music. So that's one of my loves. You know,
Hmm.
so probably sound engineer person
Okay.
working behind the scenes.
Nice. Well, here's
Yeah.
a question that I like to ask a lot of the musicians because they tend to have that streak in them. And with you saying the whole twisted, you do things twisted. Like, what's the
Mhm.
most trouble you've ever gotten into?
Um, man, most trouble in my field.
No, in your field, in your life. Like, I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
okay.
we ain't trying to get anybody arrested, but
Yeah. Man, probably being late, just being young and learning the industry and not really taking people time serious. So probably showing up late to a function or something like that. So that didn't really play out too well with some of my previous customers in my beginning
mm-hmm,
stages.
mm-hmm. All right, all right. So no throwing TVs out of hotel windows or
Oh,
anything
nah,
like that.
nah. No. No, sir.
Okay. And do you have a particular song that you've done that you prefer over all the other ones? Like you listened back to it and you said, "Man, that is my piece right there. Like that is it."
Nah, I can't really think of one off the top right now.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Do you have anything coming up that you're working on right now? Maybe people need to know about.
Well, yeah, I'm actually working with a few artists, so I've been producing beats since we've been in quarantine. And
Right.
once everything opens up, we'll go to the studio and start, recording. So pretty soon you guys will see get to hear some of my projects.
Nice. And that's
Yeah.
going to be on like SoundCloud and all that too, right?
Oh, yeah, it'll be on everything, all platforms.
Oh, sweet. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that to come out. I've heard some of your stuff and I'm a pretty big fan. Like you do some good work.
Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
So if you could change one thing about the music industry, what would it be?
I would reapply artist development in the industry. I
Okay.
think it's important because it's kind of like going to college or something for, to be an artist. And without that, the new artists are not learning the ins and the out. So a lot of times they are getting kind of hustled in the game and they don't bring the same energy as the, previous artists before them,
Right.
you know.
I
So I
see.
would do that. Yeah, artist development.
That's cool. That's cool. Now,
Mm.
kind of talking a little bit about the music producer side of it. Like, what do you look for when somebody comes up to you saying that they want a producer? Like, have you ever had to tell somebody like, "Nah, you don't have that thing that I'm looking for"?
Yeah, I let them know a certain way, but because my sound is not for everyone,
Right.
So I would definitely say, hey, you know, I don't think that you would match well with the sound that I'm trying to produce. But I will also, direct them to someone else that I think will be more suitable.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's nice of you.
Oh yeah.
So, based out of Dallas, there, have you kind of found any like roadblocks to your musical career?
It can be because it's all about your market, So my sound is not necessarily a Dallas sound. It wouldn't, fly over too well in my city because of the market is not really there.
Uh
So I
huh.
would have to definitely put it out in different places, which I know people in other areas. So it's all about once I get everything packaged, I will start, sending it out to the people that I feel like I can market my sound to. But definitely Dallas. We have different sounds here. I'm not going to say that we're not diverse with the sound, but it's not a demand for it in Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was my first thought is being in Texas. Like, I'm surprised you didn't go with like a country thing, and
Yeah.
So that's kind of neat though, that you're like this oasis in the desert, if you want to say.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Now I will say, being in Dallas, because we were kind of raised up on the blues. When I do have some blues inspired beats, so that would do pretty well, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other sounds like the funk and like the new funk and stuff like that, it probably wouldn't do too well here.
Yeah, I could see that. And like, did you have a lot of support when you were becoming a musician like this, or did your
Oh
family
yeah.
kind of think you were crazy?
Oh no. I got a lot of support in the beginning for it, so yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
really cool. And if somebody were to come up to you and say, "Hey, I got this like country theme riff going on that maybe you would
Mhm.
like," would you consider working that into a song, or would you just automatically shut them down?
No, I'm open to ideas, definitely.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, how about like your friends and stuff? Like do they come out to your gigs and root you on, or do they just kind of
Yeah. No, they do. I get a lot of love when they're able to. Since everyone's getting older, you have people that's getting married, having kids and stuff. So it's very understandable in this day right now. But I definitely always have supporters coming out. I've met new people along the way as well. So it's always someone there rooting for me.
Yeah, yeah. And do you have, like, speaking of people rooting for you, do you have like
Mm.
a publicist, or how does it work to get yourself onto shows like podcasts like these, or maybe gigs? Do they book your gigs, or do you do it yourself?
Well, I just teamed up with a PR, Rashida, with the Job Career Brown Agency. But before that, I did a lot of booking on my own. So it came with contracts and deposits and stuff like that. So I did a lot of work independently.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
And was
Mhm.
that difficult to do that by yourself, or did you kind of find that
Yeah.
pretty easy?
No, it was very difficult in the beginning because I'm a woman. So I had to learn a lot about the ins and the outs with dealing with, promoters and stuff like that in business. So you learn real fast.
Right, right.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfair that that's still a practice today,
Oh
honestly.
yeah. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Me either.
Right? Well,
Oh,
even though you struggled through that, I mean, you're still coming out on top. Like you're putting out great music, and everything's going, to me anyway, from what I know, it's going pretty well for you. So,
oh yeah, definitely. I've teamed up with a few promoters out in Dallas as well, so they put me on pretty major platforms in the city. So it's a beautiful thing to have that type of backing, from other people.
for sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I kind of want to turn back the other direction, and well, these aren't super personal questions. They're just kind of like things that I think people would like to know about you, cuz
Okay.
maybe some people just don't know anything about you other than you're an awesome DJ. So like, with everything that's going on, and obviously given the climate of what's going on in the world today with everybody being locked away and whatnot, I don't know how hard that's affected Texas, but what kind of
Mhm.
hobbies do you enjoy?
Well, sometimes I will go live from my house, put on different, probably like an hour live performance. But I also, like I said earlier, I picked up a guitar and I'm teaching myself right now with that. And really, I don't know, just really, I'm getting into stocks right now
Oh, okay.
as well. So that's like a new hobby to me, researching and that. But I don't know, man. Just during this time right now, it's just getting a lot of sleep, rest, and just trying to stay low.
Right, for real.
Recharge. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Well, that's good though. I mean, you got to do something to keep yourself occupied, and the stock market, that's a crazy game. I hope you do well with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, what about a favorite food or restaurant, or like your go-to snack for when you're just kicking back, relaxing?
Oh, pizza.
Oh, all right.
Pizza. Yeah. Pizza would be one, and Rice Krispie treats would be my
Nice.
snack. Yeah.
And we're talking about like the pineapple and ham pizza, right? Because that's the best one.
Eh, Nah, we're talking about pepperoni. Pepperoni and some bacon.
There you go. Now you're
Yeah.
talking. That's cool. That's cool. So like other than and you know, this isn't to make you sound egotistical or anything like that, but other
Mhm.
than listening to your stuff through playbacks and making sure that everything sounds good, after you've put out a song, do you go back through and just kind of like, "Oh, I guess I better do some cleaning. Let me put some music on," and you put on your own music?
Sometimes, yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, because when you play stuff back, you might hear something a little different that you could have did. But but hey, if I make a wonderful mix, yeah, I would definitely turn it on and do some cleaning around the house.
Nice. Cool. And we talked about if there was anything you could change about the industry. Is there anything that you would change about yourself?
What would I change? Man, that's a good question. Let's come back to that one.
Okay.
Let's come
All
back
right.
to that one.
All right. That's fair. Well, my only other question that I really have for you that I think a lot of people kind of want to know is like, it's a two-part question. Like, how does somebody get into this career or this, like, being a producer, being a musician? How does somebody, like,
Mm.
is this something you're born with, or can you learn to do it?
You can absolutely learn it. I do believe that some people are born with it and some people grow into this passion for it.
Hmm.
So it just depends on the individual. But if you have that passion for it, I mean, just continue to study it and try to do your best, be the best that you can be.
Right on.
Yeah.
And going along with that, like, what advice would you have for somebody? Like, would that be your advice, or would you have more in-depth words of wisdom, like don't trust anybody, or
Oh, definitely. No. You would want to have a mentor, reach out to someone that's experienced, shadow them, help them out, learn as much as you can, just soak it up like a sponge. Don't come into the game super arrogant, always be respectful to the ones that was kind of here before, because
Gotcha.
you can go further. Definitely you do want to learn the business because as a DJ, you're going to deal with promoters because the promoters are the ones who had the dibs on the clubs.
Right.
So you definitely want to learn the business, get you a contract, just figure out your business with that, and don't burn bridges in the industry because
Nice.
everyone knows everyone.
Right, for real.
Yeah.
Well, that is some amazing advice. Thank you so much for that. Like, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. No
Well,
problem.
that about wraps up my questions. So, I mean, the only real thing left to do now is like, do you have any social medias that you'd like to tell the listeners about so they can follow along with you?
Yes, for sure. You guys can follow me on all platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snap. I do not have TikTok. I'm thinking about it, but I do not have it. And Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter as well under DJ Twisted E.
Awesome. Awesome. And I'm going to put links to all that in the description of the podcast episode. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Real quick, one-click shopping kind of thing.
There you go.
But, DJ Twisted E, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today. Your energy was just amazing. Like, you're an awesome person to talk to. And I've just had a blast just listening to you.
Man, I appreciate you for having me as your guest today. You keep doing what you're doing, man. We always need outlets, to speak on, to put messages out and stuff like that. And just, this is very important to the indie world.
Absolutely. We're all in it together.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah. And thank you to all the listeners who tuned in to check this out. I really hope that you click on the social links and follow along. There's lots of good stuff coming and lots of good stuff that's already been out. So make sure to check them, and we'll see you all next time. Oh, now that was an awesome interview. Thanks so much for listening. You all are so great. And don't forget to head to Facebook, Insta, and Twitter and follow The Leo Effects. If you want to hear some comedy and ridiculous voices, check out Shattered Dungeons on YouTube and all other places podcasts can be heard. And you'll hear me voicing crazy characters, usually pretty terribly. So thank you so much. You all are the absolute best. And we will see you all on the next episode.